Hello, football fans, and welcome to the Press Box. I'm Timmy,
And I'm Steven.
and we're here to answer the call. Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. It is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. And what a wonderful weekend of football it was over this Veterans Day weekend.
Yeah, once again, I was at work on Saturday, so didn't catch too much of the college. I think we watched a little bit of it right before we opened. I want to say I don't even remember what game, but definitely got to watch some football yesterday.
Oh yeah, I watched quite a bit on Saturday. With college football. That's my primary day. I did watch a little of the NFL yesterday. A lot of stuff happened. NFL's, of course, on hour two. Hour one is the college world. First call, we're going to do some rapid fire on some of these games, just kind of talk about them. Some of them aren't even really worth going into discussion. Ohio State beating Purdue 45-0. Like, come on now.
Yeah, Purdue got spanked.
Yeah. Purdue has a history of the beating top ranked teams, but not in this one. Wasn't even close. I didn't watch it. Didn't care to watch it. I knew the outcome was going to be Ohio State by a landslide, and it was. Speaking of landslides, holy crap! Texas did that little BTA treatment to Florida, huh? A little
Yeah.
49-17, and this wasn't even close, guys. Most of that 17 was in the garbage time. So, really, realistically, Florida never had a chance. DJ Lagway didn't play, and Quinn Ewers was just on a whole different level.
Looking like a Quinn Ewers of old.
Yeah, he definitely looked like the Quinn Ewers that everybody talks about being a first round draft pick, top 5 pick. He definitely he helped his draft stock on the rise right there. But I mean, it was against Florida, but their defense was good, but not in this one. Not in this one. Rutgers, they snapped a 4-game losing streak. They beat Minnesota 26-19. It's actually one I thought Minnesota was going to win. Minnesota's been on a roll, and Rutgers goes, hey, we lost 4 in a row after starting the season 4-0. We want to get back in the winning column. Now they're just one win away from being bowl eligible, so I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully they get that one win.
There's a few teams that just need like one more win. It seems like Boston College beat Syracuse 37-31, and I gotta tell you, that is not one that I expected at all. I had Syracuse winning this one. Boston College has had its up and downs, and I was wrong on this one again. So next up is Army. Army. This one actually impressed me. So Army, the score isn't impressive, but how they won is impressive. So Army wins 14-3, remains undefeated, keeps that undefeated streak alive, keeps that Cinderella story going. They beat North Texas 14-3 at North Texas. They only had 15 yards passing. They only had 15 yards passing as a team.
Wow.
The quarterback went 2 for 4, 15 yards and an interception. He didn't even throw a touchdown.
That's insane.
But I'm gonna tell you, he had like 37 carries for 153 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So
yeah, I mean they are a run heavy team.
I think as a team they had like 290 some yards rushing. I think it was.
I will say I think they got Notre Dame this week, and that's not going to work against Notre Dame. So
I don't think they do have Notre Dame this week.
It's this week or next?
It's next week, I think, because I think this coming week Notre Dame plays somebody else. Let's see. Notre Dame this week actually has Virginia. Yeah. Virginia
okay, so it's next.
Yeah.
Next week. Either way, it's not going to get the job done against Notre Dame in that tough defense. So, Army better get it right before then.
Maybe Army can learn how to pass. I don't know. Their quarterback is a pretty good passer, but in this
they're just they've always been like that triple option, speed option type.
Them and Navy both, I feel like, are that.
Yeah.
So Indiana keeps its undefeated season alive. Beats Michigan 20-15. You know, it wasn't a pretty game for Indiana. They weren't dominant like what we're used to. Michigan gave them a run, but in the end, Indiana reaches 10 wins for the first time in school history. 10-0 for the first time in school history.
I mean, it'd be really nice to see them go undefeated the rest of the way. I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like.
They do have a tough one next week at at Ohio State.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game, and hopefully they can go in there and pull out the victory.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Because it is definitely one of those feel-good stories. You know, you love to see it, and it seems like we have one every college football season, and there's been a few this year.
There has been a lot this year, and I'm for it. You know, seeing some new teams, seeing new teams make it, seeing new teams succeed, and this whole transfer portal thing. I think it's going to really help some of these teams like Notre Dame, Indiana, BYU. Some of these teams that aren't normally good, but now they're going to get some of these transfers because winning NIL deals. I'm actually for it. Indiana's rolling on 10 wins, 10-0. So Curt Cignetti, man, I don't know if you ever listen to him in his post game interview press conferences and stuff. He's just so funny because he's so authentic. You can tell that he doesn't force it. He just kind of, and then he gives his opinion, and then he's like, "What are we, 10-0 now? Yeah, feels good." So, I really like Curt Cignetti as the coach, and Indiana, keep going. BYU, they survived the Holy War rivalry against Utah. That one was a late night Saturday night game, and that one did not disappoint. It was back and forth, and there for a while I was like, wait a minute, BYU's gonna lose, but a holding call, and then something else happened. BYU gets the ball, they go down, kick the game-winning field goal as time expires, wins 22-21. So it was a good game though. It's a lot closer than I thought without Utah not having Cam Rising.
Yeah.
Colorado, whew, I said it earlier in the week. I said, this has all the makings of a shootout, Colorado versus Texas Tech, and it kind of was. I know the score doesn't indicate that, 41-27, but that the last touchdown was a very late, I believe it was a fumble recovery by Colorado or an interception ran back for a touchdown. So, really, it was 34-27. Texas Tech had the ball, trying to tie the game up. Colorado wins. Keeps their.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nope. Go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna say Colorado. Keeps their bowl. They're gonna make the bowl, but they keep their playoff hopes alive and the Big 12 winning the Big 12 titles. So.
Yeah, and I think the bigger story coming out of this game is those unfortunate Texas Tech fans throwing stuff onto the field. I think it was tortillas this week. I don't.
Oh, it was. You're right. It was. It was tortillas. Coach Prime was like, "Man, they're throwing everything except my mama at me."
Yeah, and kudos to Colorado for mostly trying to handle it respectfully.
Was it
Shedeur,
Shedeur that signed one?
I don't. Yeah, one of the Sanders
I think
signed a water bottle and tossed it back into.
Oh well, one of them
the stands.
signed a tortilla.
Oh really? I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they started throwing tortillas at him.
I know after the game, when Colorado was heading to the locker room, Shiloh had the game ball, and the Texas Tech ball boy came up and smacked it out of his hand, and took it from him. And kudos to Shiloh because I would have instantly hit the kid. I would have
he gave him a little shove.
Yeah. Well, no, Shiloh didn't. It was Deion Sanders Jr.
Oh, okay.
that actually shot. It's really weird because I didn't know there was a third one of those boys.
Yeah. So two of them play for Colorado. Shiloh and Shador plays for Colorado, and then Dion Jr. I don't know what he is like.
I don't think he plays at all.
Yeah. So he was just there.
Yeah, but it's a bad look, and this happened multiple times this college football season where you just have fans tossing stuff onto fields. It's not a good look.
It's really not, and it jeopardizes the safety of the players. It delays the game. It takes the momentum and the excitement out of games. So, college fans, stop doing it, please. Be
Yeah, just be respectful. And I get like, your team's losing. There's just much better ways to handle that than throwing stuff on the field. I
well,
mean,
shoot,
because
look at Vandy fans for all those years. I mean, they suffered losing, and I mean, you never seen Vandy fans throwing, and it's all because
yeah,
Texas. It's all because the Texas Longhorns decided, oh, we don't like this pass interference call. We're going to start throwing water bottles, and now unfortunately everybody's starting to do it, and I'm not a fan of that.
yeah,
Missouri beats OU 30-23, and this one, oh my gosh, was crazy. This one was absolutely crazy. It was kind of back and forth, and then OU takes the lead. I was like, or they don't take the lead. They tied the game, and I was like, wait a minute. And then it was like one strip sack fumble led to scoop and score, and then another. Then Mizzou got OU had the ball, and it looked like they were gonna win, and then Mizzou gets it, scoop and score, and Missouri ends up winning 30-23 on some wild, crazy plays. But it was actually a lot of fun. This is one of the games I had in the quad box, so I was actually really excited to see the Big 12 rivalry of old, renewed in the SEC.
yeah. I mean, I got to watch some highlights from this game, and
I mean,
it looked like a pretty good game for the most part.
I mean, back when OU and Missouri were both back in the Big 12, I mean, these games were always really exciting games. So, and
highly contested.
This one wasn't much different. It was 30-23. So Mizzou got it, and their head coach afterwards, he's sitting there talking, and he goes, and they're like, yeah, bowl eligible, blah blah blah, but playoffs, don't count us out yet. And I'm like, bro, you're like eliminated. I mean, maybe they're not. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I'm pretty sure Mizzou doesn't have a chance at making the playoffs.
I think it's very, very slim.
Wow.
If I remember right, I seen a clip and it's like a 5% chance of making it if things fall their way and they win out the rest of the year. So they're probably not going to make it. But it's just like in the NFL. You see some teams towards the end of the year that it's highly improbable. I think it happened 3 years ago. Where the Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs all made the playoffs in the NFC or from the AFC West.
Okay.
And it's because the Raiders beat the Chargers. Like, it was just this really weird scenario, and a lot of things needed to happen.
Okay.
And it ended up happening. So, I mean, statistically, mathematically, they're not out of it, but, it is a long shot, But weird things do happen. That's why it's any given Saturday, any given Sunday.
That is true.
Well, but I don't see them making it. Like,
no,
that's not me endorsing a Missouri playoff bid. That's just me. Hey, weird stuff does happen sometimes.
Well, and right now with the way that Texas played yesterday or Saturday, excuse me, they're playing on a different level. Ole Miss is playing on a different level. So, and Tennessee, has been pretty dominant all year long. So South Carolina beats Vandy 28-7 in the battle of the Cinderella teams. And if you guys remember, I said on, I believe it was Thursday when I was doing these picks, I said, look for South Carolina to get Rocket Sanders the ball and look for him to get the run game going early. And that's exactly what happened, guys. Rocket Sanders, I think he had over 150 yards rushing, and South Carolina leaned on him, and it paid off. And, Vandy, hey, you had a great season. Don't get bummed out on this loss, but you had a really good season. Against South Carolina, they've been a really good team this year. They've hung around with Bama. They beat some teams. So definitely not one to hang your hat on this one.
No, it's definitely been a good season for them, and I look forward to how they go up from here, or whether they go down next year. It'd be really interesting to watch.
Right. Well, South Carolina, they do win. They're on the up and up. I believe they're bowl eligible now. I believe they are able to be in the bowl season. Vandy's in the bowl season. Who knows? The college football world could say, hey, I just want to go ahead and have a rematch between South Carolina and Vandy in a bowl game. You never know what's going to happen in the bowl season. So,
yep.
Guys, we got my top 25 versus the AP top 25, and woo, that one's gonna be a good one. It's coming up in just a little bit. I want to switch gears before we get into these next few games, and do the little call out segment. I have a few good call outs, now known as the Call of Fame. We're going to call the good ones the Call of Fame, guys. I want to separate the call out. That way people know it's a good call out or a bad one for sure. And Quinn Ewers, Texas, we were talking about him. Huh? He joins Mac Jones as only QBs with 4 passing touchdowns in first half versus Florida in the past 20 years. That is a crazy stat to think that Mac Jones was the only quarterback until Quinn Ewers to have 4 passing touchdowns versus Florida in the past 20 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Also, we talked about Ohio State. We talked about them. Talked about their dominant win over Purdue. Well, in that, Mr. Jeremiah Smith makes the Call of Fame segment once again. He now has the most touchdowns by a true freshman in Ohio State history. He officially passed Chris Carter on Saturday. So kudos, you have 9 touchdowns, still going. Probably going to end with the season with probably 13 or 14, I would say. Well, we talked about Indiana. Kirk Cignetti becomes the first Indiana head coach to start tenure 10-0 at Big Ten school. Becomes only the 6th Big Ten coach to do so. So, hey, Kurt Cignetti, we're all for you, man. So Indiana's 10-0 this season. They were 9-27 in their last 3 seasons combined before he became their head coach. So good job to Mr. Kurt Cignetti.
Nice job.
I don't have anything. Oh, I have a call of shame. The call of shame is the bad side of things. Kent State is the only team in FBS to not have a win this season. They are 0-9.
Wow.
I'll do you one better. They haven't even had a lead in a game. They haven't even led in a game all season. So I don't know, Kent State. You might be like the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions to be the only team to go winless in a season. So you don't want to be in that company, I promise you.
Nope. I actually do have a call of shame.
Oh, a call of shame?
Yes.
On the college side?
on the college side,
Oh,
I'd like to call out Utah's athletic director for throwing his little temper tantrum in a pre or post game conference, saying the game was stolen from them and they should have won.
what?
No matter no matter how you feel about a situation, you're supposed to be the leader of that school as the athletic director. You're supposed to set the example for the players. And I get you disagree with the officials' call on the the field, but to call out the officials in the Big 12 for being unprofessional, it's just not a good look for not only yourself but your school and your team. And I don't think it sends the right message. You lost. It sucks. Um, Learn from it, grow from it, and move on.
Wow, Steven over here with a call of shame already on a Monday. Woo!
Oh, just wait till we get to wait till we get to that NFL segment.
Wait till hour 2. He says he's gonna be bringing it in hour 2. All right, guys. There's a few games I really kind of wanted to talk about. Georgia was all bark and no bite. Georgia all bark, no bite on Saturday. Ole Miss was absolutely dominant in the win versus Georgia. And if you guys didn't watch this game, then you don't have a clue. If you look at the box score, yeah, they won by 18. Ole Miss's offense was dominant. Ole Miss's defense was dominant. Carson Beck looked rattled, okay? The crazy part is Ole Miss was without their starting running back, Henry Parrish Jr., and their leading receiver, Trey Harris. So Ole Miss's offense isn't even at full power right now. And they just smacked around Georgia like it was nothing. The Rebels had Georgia looking like puppy dogs out there, honestly. We know the Georgia to be these big, bad Bulldogs. Well, they look like puppies in this game.
Yeah, and this is another just absolute stinker of a game from Carson Beck. This is not the same Carson Beck we seen last year. And now, mind you, going into the season, everybody was hyping him as a first round, maybe first overall pick, and I kind of pumped the brakes on that. I thought at the beginning of the season, and it looks like I was right. He has been a turnover machine this year. I don't actually have, total interceptions for the year, but he's well into double digits.
I'm glad you said something, buddy, because I actually do. I actually looked up his stats because I was curious. Carson Beck has been turning the ball over. He has 9 interceptions in his last 4 games. He has 12 interceptions on the season with 2 fumbles lost, so he has 14 turnovers this season.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I said it a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Nobody has hurt their draft stock more than Carson Beck. And I don't even know if this is his senior year, it may be his junior, but I don't even know if he can come back next year. If he can't, you're looking at a 4th round pick, maybe if he's lucky. He just he has not looked like the Carson Beck of last year, and I don't know whether it's the entire Georgia offense or whether it's just a Carson Beck problem.
Yeah, he definitely has hurt his draft stock, and I was actually about to bring that up. He was viewed as a first round talent. I don't feel like he is now. He's too careless with his throws, and he struggles versus zone coverage, guys. Like, if you watch him in zone coverage, he cannot read that defense. He cannot. He is a senior, so.
And maybe last year Georgia's defense was just so good that the offense had a lot more opportunities. Maybe we just didn't see the true side of Carson Beck. I'd actually like to bring up a point that I was scrolling through TikTok this morning, and I believe it was an analyst on Fox, but he said that when he looks at Carson Beck, he doesn't see a quarterback. He's got the black eyeliner that's all the way down his face pretty much. He's got the sleeve for a tattoo. And he's like, you really don't see that in QBs. You see QBs that are more upkept, like they may wear the little just a little bit of black under the eye to help with sweat or whatever. But he's like, he's just not a quarterback, So I found that really kind of interesting. And thinking about it, I don't know too many quarterbacks that have just full blown art, like tattoo sleeves down their arm. And I can't think of one that, really has any visible tattoos. So maybe Carson Beck is pretending to be something he's really not, is what I think that guy was getting at, but I could be wrong.
It definitely kind of seems that way. I watched in this game, and, he was sitting there on the sideline. I think it was after one of his interceptions, or maybe it was Ole Miss was about to score something, and they went over to him. I think it was after his one of his interceptions in the game. But he's just smiling. I mean, he's got like the biggest smile on his face. Like, he doesn't care, like he's not bothered that his team's losing. He's not bothered that he's committing turnovers. He's not bothered that Ole Miss is about to spank him. He just doesn't care. He's just sitting on the sideline kind of all by himself, just, with the eye black on and, just sitting there, big O smile. And I don't know. That's not a really good look, especially, at the quarterback position. You don't want your quarterback smiling when your team's losing.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the NFL, you're the face of the franchise as a quarterback,
Right.
Like for the most part.
Right.
And I think it speaks volumes that he was pretty much setting alone. Like, most teams you see, them rally around their quarterback after something bad happens. Like they're going up talking to the quarterback, like, hey, stuff happens, but I think it's becoming such an issue with Carson Beck that his team's losing faith in him. Maybe not so much the coaches, but definitely the players.
You're probably right on that, honestly. Well, Georgia's defense, they're good because they're defense, and I don't know, Georgia's got 2 losses on the season, and big shout out to Kirby Smart though. He was like, hey, we got outplayed, we got outcoached, we didn't execute. So like, and he took full responsibility. So I like seeing that, from the head coach, take that responsibility, because at the end of the day, yeah, I get it. You're not out there on that field, but I mean, it is your job to have those players ready. And, Kirby Smart, he said, hey, this one's on me, and he's looking to bounce back.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Kudos to him for just owning it, because, a lot of people, I guess, wouldn't necessarily own it and take the blame, but he did, and that's a player's coach right there. That's somebody you want to play for.
Well, Carson Beck, I don't know. You got to start protecting the ball, but first and foremost, you have to protect the ball. Get the run, and I think that's what Carson Beck said. Like he was like, "Well, the strength of this team isn't me passing; it's running." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. The strength of this team is whatever your coach tells you and needs you to do."
Yeah, and see that right there is not the quarterback mentality.
No.
Most quarterbacks, when the game's on the line, they're like, "Hey, give me the ball. Put the ball in my hands. Let me get it to my playmakers."
Let me throw it. Let me try to get one burnt deep or something.
Yeah, that's just not a great look.
Well, we were talking about people hurting draft stock, and maybe this next player and this next team kind of hurt their stock a little bit. Are the Hurricanes overrated? That's what I want to know. Because I kind of got this feeling that old Miami might just be a little overrated this season. All right?
Yeah, and here's the deal. If you look at every one of their games this season, pretty much, up until the late third quarter, early fourth quarter, they really don't play well. And it was only a matter of time before that actually caught up to them. And this was a prime example of that game. They don't play well in the first 3 quarters. They get down, and they just somehow magically come back.
And you can't do that.
Yeah.
Especially like in the playoffs, you definitely don't want to do that.
This is definitely a team that, as much as I like to see the U back in contention, they are a little bit this season.
So
And,
Virginia Tech or Miami loses to Georgia Tech 28-23. That's what we're talking about, guys, and this is why we think that they're overrated.
yeah, I mean, this is a game they should have went out and dominated. Yeah, in every essence of the word, and they back themselves into these holes, and most of the time they're just good enough to skate by. And I don't know whether Georgia Tech just had the formula to stopping them, or but they ran into a buzzsaw.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when you have a team that runs the ball 48 times for 271 yards and controls that clock, that's a real good formula for success. So we talked about Army, only having 15 yards passing. As a team, Georgia Tech, between two quarterbacks, had 99 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Philo went 5 of 10, 67 yards and a touchdown. And Haynes King, which he's more the option guy, he's more the mobile quarterback. He went 6 of 6, 32 yards and a touchdown. So they didn't ask him to throw the ball. Georgia Tech ran the ball, had 48 carries, 271 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech's defense, I mean, I don't think they really got a turnover. They got 1 turnover, a Cam Ward fumble, which I think came late in the game. I think when the game was on the line, Cam Ward fumbled. In all honesty, though, this is probably not the first loss that they should have suffered. If you go back to the Virginia Tech game, if it wasn't for an overturned call in the end zone, the player stepped out of bounds, Virginia Tech would have beat them. Then there's the Cal game where a few calls goes Miami's way and they went on a last-second touchdown. And then there's, they should have lost to Louisville, in all honesty. I thought Louisville was going to do it. And then if it wasn't for a complete meltdown from Duke, they would have lost to Duke last week. So they definitely should have already had 2, 3, 4 losses on the season, really.
Yeah, I mean, they really should be nowhere close to what they are, but there's a fine line between, a good team finding ways to win, and what Miami's doing, and Miami's just not doing it right. And
so this also hurts them in the ACC. I mean, not only does this hurt them in the playoffs, but this really hurt them in the ACC because, they were kind of in that control the ACC, basically going to have the first round bye in the playoffs. And now I'm not even convinced that they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one to predict. Clemson. Would it be Clemson versus Miami in the ACC championship game?
No. Right now, SMU is leading the ACC, so it would probably be
SMU and Miami.
Would it be Miami or would it be somebody else?
Let me go check out the ACC standings.
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't even be Miami right now. I could be wrong.
Let me see here. No, it'd be Clemson, Miami, third in the division.
Yeah.
Or in the conference.
Which is weird because they have a better record
but Clemson has more conference wins. They're Clemson is 6-1, Miami's 5-1.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the only reason SMU is ranked first is because they're 5-0. So technically, Clemson has the game on them, like the win on in the conference, but because SMU's undefeated, they're first in the conference.
I see. Okay, so Miami has home for Wake Forest and on the road at Syracuse. Interesting.
Did they not play Clemson this week or this year?
No, I don't think that. No, they didn't. Which is crazy.
Yeah. Who's Clemson got left? Let's see here.
Clemson. I'm not sure. We could.
At Pitt.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
The Citadel.
Oh yeah, that'll be an easy win.
And then South Carolina.
Oh, I can't believe that we just went through this and did not just talk about Florida State. Florida State got absolutely wrecked this week. No,
yeah,
hang on.
I was trying to avoid it.
No, we're going back to the Call of Shame because this is crazy. Florida State is the first team to be ranked preseason top 10 and start season 1-9. First team ever. Okay. But their struggles are not just on the field, guys. They are struggling off the field as well. Florida State is ranked 43rd in recruiting in 2025. They have no wide receivers committed for the 2025 class. No wide receivers for the 2025 class.
That's weird.
It's not a good look. That's for sure. All right, guys. Honestly, the whole state of Florida in terms of football this past weekend, it's been bad, and they're relying on the Miami Dolphins tonight to be the only Florida team, FCS, FBS, and NFL to win. So the whole state of Florida has been bad this weekend.
Hey, I got a serious question.
Huh?
When did Notre Dame join the ACC?
Notre Dame's not in the ACC.
Yes, they are.
They're independent.
Nope, they're on the ACC's website as a team in the conference.
That is super weird because they are not an ACC. They're an independent.
That's what I thought. But so I was just looking at the ACC website.
Because they're not even in the rankings. Like, you go to ACC football standings, SMU, Clemson, Miami, I mean, they're not even there.
But Notre Dame's right there on the front page of the ACC conference website.
That is so weird because they are an independent. They are independent. Them, UConn, and UMass is all independent.
Yeah, I was super confused.
Well, I got a question for you, and it's the last game that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to get kind of into this AP Top 25 this week. Is Bama back? Oh my God, is Bama coming back?
No.
Hey, Bama's had their ups and downs this season, guys, all right? You know, since they almost let Georgia come back and win, you know, they got losses to Vandy and Tennessee, almost lost to South Carolina. But on Saturday, Bama dominated LSU. They pushed them around. Old Crimson Tide was not afraid of the Tigers on Saturday. And that game was, you know, at Louisiana, where Brian Kelly, prime time, at home, in a night game, was 13-0. He's now 13-1. LSU couldn't do anything, guys. They couldn't. Offense couldn't move the ball. Defense couldn't stop. It wouldn't have mattered if LSU's defense had 15 guys on the field. They were not stopping Alabama's offense. I'm not kidding. It was bad. Jalen Milroe had 4 rushing touchdowns. And one of them was like 70 yards. He saw a lane and he just took off and he was gone. So that's what I'm saying. They could have had 15 guys on the field. I don't think they would have stopped Alabama. LSU defense, probably because they were on the field a little bit too much. They didn't stop anything either. They weren't stopping anything. Garrett Nussmeier threw 2 interceptions. Bama rushed for 311 yards and controlled the clock. With this win, Bama helped their playoff chances, while LSU is basically eliminated from the playoffs. This was an elimination game. Whoever lost is basically out of the playoffs. And LSU, you're going to make a bowl game. You're still a decent team, but you're out of the playoffs. So, I don't know, bud. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably out of the playoffs 100%.
LSU is out of the playoffs. I mean, they would need they would kind of need something along the lines of Missouri to happen.
Yeah, for sure. So tough break for them. Tough break for sure.
But yeah, Bama did. I was not expecting it. It actually got so bad, guys. I actually turned and I was excited, because my favorite commentators in college football was doing the game. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. My two favorite commentators in all of college football. And I was like, I've got to turn this off. I've got to turn it off because this is embarrassing. And I want to shout out Kurt Herbstreit real quick. He lost his dog. He still did Thursday Night Football. Then he went to, Baton Rouge, had Friday meetings for College Game Day. And they did a tribute to his dog, Ben. And, he got a little emotional, but he still called the game and he still brought the same passion that he always brings. So big shout out to Mr. Kirk Herbstreit because that was a tough week for you, losing your dog that traveled with you everywhere you went. And so, but you kept it going. And so LSU fans started throwing stuff on the field too, right?
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. And he goes, "Enough is enough, you clowns. Stop this." I'm not even kidding. I was like, "Oh, Kurt, let's go," because he did. He was just like, "Hey, enough's enough, clowns. Have some respect and decency." So, but yeah, big shout out to him. Losing your dog is never easy. He never missed a beat. Still brought the passion. He is like my favorite commentator. We got the top 25. Oh, go ahead.
Kirk Herbstreit's one of the best commentators in all football. NFL.
Yeah.
I wish he would do NFL games. I know he does once a week, but I want more.
Oh, yeah.
I want more.
I do too.
I want more Tim.
Well, I do too, buddy, because he is my favorite commentator. So, but unfortunately, we get him 1 day a week in the NFL, and that's Thursday, and then we get him 1 day a week in college, and that's Saturday. All right, guys, it is time for the weekly top 25, my top 25 versus the AP poll. I gotta say, I did a pretty good job this week. My first 12 are exactly in agreement with the AP poll.
I'm so glad your poll's a joke too.
Huh? Oh, yeah? At least I do a poll. Oh. Okay, so number 1 is Oregon. Ohio State. Texas is at 3. I don't know. Penn State at 4. Okay. Indiana. Hey, let's go. Indiana finally getting some love. They're undefeated. They're 10-0 for their first time ever. They're ranked 5th.
I think they should be 3 and Texas should be 5.
I think they should definitely be 3 and Texas be 4, Penn State be 5.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree with that, but I very much feel like Indiana should be at number 3.
Some say they should maybe be number 2. I mean, they are undefeated.
I mean, yeah, I could realistically see a push for 2, but if they were at 3, I would be happy with the top 5.
So Tennessee is at 6. No shock there. I mean, they didn't have an impressive win. Nico Iamaleava.
Say that 3 times, face.
Face?
Fast. Fast.
Tennessee, Nico got a little banged up in the game. They still managed to win. I mean, it was against Mississippi State, so, I mean, put a little asterisk beside that. Number 7 is BYU. Number 8 is Notre Dame. Number 9 is Bama. Here we go. Bama back in the top 10.
They shouldn't be, but
number
you know.
10 is Ole Miss. Ole Miss definitely deserves to be there after that butt whooping that they gave Georgia.
Yep.
Miami is number 12. Now this is where me and the AP poll differed slightly. We just flip-flopped these next two. I had SMU at 13, Boise State at 14. They have Boise State at 13 and SMU at 14. So
and they both should be ranked higher.
They should.
They both should be ranked over Georgia
now,
for sure.
I will say the reason I put SMU ahead of Boise in my rankings was if you watched them play Nevada, they did struggle at times. They did win the game, but they did kind of struggle at times. And that is one I just kind of thought that they should have just walked in and dominated. But hey, Ashton Jeanty had 200 yards rushing, so.
Well, Nevada's also one of those rivalry games, and
Rival games
tend to be highly contested. So,
right.
I never thought Boise State was just going to go in there and dog walk Nevada. It just wasn't going to happen because it is a rivalry game. So, they did pull out the win though. That's really where I have a problem. Is SMU is what 8-1 or
yeah. They're
Boise State is 8-1. They should be ranked over
a 2-loss team.
A 2-loss team. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
You know,
I get that.
If they just flip flop Georgia with SMU, like so, if we did Alabama 9, 10 Ole Miss, 11 Miami, 12 Boise State, 13 SMU, and then 15 Georgia.
14 Georgia.
14 Georgia, sorry. I'd probably be a lot happier with that.
I could see that. Okay, so the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5, I agree with the top. You know, me and the AP poll, we were in agreement here. Army's number 16, guys. Let's freaking go. Army, undefeated Army at number 16. They're on a 13-game winning streak. Fun to watch. 17 is Clemson. 18 is Colorado. Hey, prime time. Hey, what if he became a coach somewhere else? Where would you want to see him be a coach at?
Can I just be completely honest?
Yeah.
I'd really just like him not to coach.
Oh, ouch.
And this goes back to even his NFL days. I really dislike how Deion Sanders talks. I don't know. His voice annoys me. I don't get it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But every time he talks, I have to mute my TV. I'm just like, shut up, dude.
Number 19 is Washington State. Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing him at like LSU, Florida. I mean,
yeah, I mean he's got a big personality, so a big time school, I mean, would be pretty cool to see him at, or even a high profile NFL team, like I don't know, Dallas Cowboys.
Oof.
And then it's kind of like a 2-for-1 special. I get to roast Deion Sanders and the Cowboys.
Oh,
it's a win-win.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're still on the NFL side, so we can't roast Cowboys yet. That's hour 2. That's hour 2.
I'm just saying if he got to be the coach of them.
So I had LSU at 20. AP put K-State at 20. I put K-State at 21. AP put LSU at 21. So we just flip-flopped again on those. And now here, 22 through 25, I have the right teams. I just don't have the same order as AP poll. For my 22nd team, I put Missouri. You know, after beating Oklahoma, they should move up a little bit. The AP poll put Louisville. I don't think Louisville played this week. So, and I can't remember what they were ranked last week, so maybe that's why they just kind of left them at 22. I put Louisville at 23. They put South Carolina at 23. So South Carolina's getting some love, guys. Rocket Sanders, Lenore Sellers, and that high-powered Gamecock offense is getting some love here in the college football world. My 24 team was South Carolina. They put Missouri at 24. Okay, so Missouri still makes the top 25. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 25, me and the AP poll did agree on this one. And this is crazy, guys. Tulane. Tulane is number 25. Let's go, Tulane. 8-1 on the season.
That's something I never thought I'd hear.
That's something I never thought I would hear either. Just so you guys know, I think I had Arizona State was a candidate for my 25th. They've had a pretty good season. They're at 7-2. And there was a couple others, but Tulane. I felt that Tulane, out of the ones that I had others receiving votes on, Tulane had the better record. And so, but hey, Arizona State, keep winning, and you'll be in the top 25 next week. And guys, don't forget, tomorrow night's the second week of the college football playoff rankings. So this top 25 is kind of going to be irrelevant once tomorrow hits.
Tulane's 8-2.
Oh, they're 8-2.
Yeah, I just went back and looked at the poll to see who else received votes.
That's right. They lost to Oklahoma and I want to say K-State in like back-to-back weeks, like week 2 and week 3. So
there's just especially on the back end, there's a lot of, I feel like, shuffling that could be done. Like LSU and Louisville are 6-3, South Carolina 6-3.
Right.
I don't know, just to put them on the list over teams like Iowa State and Arizona State and Pitt, like,
well,
I don't know. It's really, really tough that.
Yeah. That's the top 25, guys. So we are wrapping up hour 1. Hour 2 is right around the corner, the NFL side of things. And if I remember correctly, Steven's got a lot to talk about in hour 2. He's going to bring some heat, guys. You better strap in, get ready, sit down, relax. You better have a cold drink in hand, the whole 9 yards, because from what I understand, he's going to be bringing it in hour 2.
Yeah, it's
Do you have any?
time for some harsh truths come hour 2.
You got anything else for hour 1, bud?
Not on the college side.
All right, guys. Hour 2 around the corner.